For centuries, the stories have persisted. Tales whispered through generations, dogs that won't stop barking for no reason, birds taking flight in the dead of night, snakes abandoning their burrows in the middle of winter. All just moments before the ground itself begins to roar. Is this mere coincidence, folklore, or is there something more profound? A hidden sense in the animal kingdom that we humans have long since lost. A sense that warns them of the Earth's impending fury. Welcome to Mystic Wildlife. Today, we are not just asking the question. We are journeying to the very edge of science and mystery to find the answer. Can animals truly predict earthquakes? The natural world is brimming with mysteries that defy our modern understanding. From the precise navigation of monarch butterflies to the deep sea, communications of whales, animals perceive realities we can scarcely imagine. Here at Mystic Wildlife, we delve into these enigmas, separating myth from reality, and today, we're tackling one of the most compelling puzzles of all. The evidence isn't just in old wives' tales. It's documented in the annals of history itself. Historical evidence and anecdotes. In 373 BC, the Greek city of Helike was utterly destroyed by a massive earthquake and tsunami. But the historical records note something peculiar. Days before the disaster, rats, snakes, and weasels were seen migrating en masse away from the city. They fled, sensing a danger the citizens could not. This pattern repeats itself across millennia and continents. In 1975, the Chinese city of Haicheng was successfully evacuated. Just days before a 7.3 magnitude quake, saving countless lives. The decision wasn't based on perfect seismic science, which was in its infancy, but on a series of bizarre reports from the countryside. Farmers reported seeing snakes, abandoning their hibernation spots and freezing to death on the surface in the dead of winter. Other animals were reported as restless and agitated. Closer to our time in 2009, a colony of toads abruptly abandoned their pond in L'Aquila, Italy, just days before a devastating quake struck the city. Scientists were baffled. These aren't isolated incidents. The catalogue of anecdotes is vast and global. But the real question for science is how? The science behind the senses. If these animals aren't psychic, what are they detecting? Scientists have moved beyond mere speculation and are now zeroing in on several compelling physical precursors that animals, with their heightened senses, might be picking up on. Fasten infrasound and ultrasound. Earthquakes generate massive low-frequency sound waves called infrasound, and high-frequency waves, ultrasound, far below and above the range of human hearing. But many animals are perfectly tuned to these frequencies. Elephants use infrasound to communicate across vast distances. Dogs can hear ultrasound. If the grinding of tectonic plates produces these silent sonic booms, animals would hear the earthquake scream long before we feel its rumble. 2. Electrical and magnetic field changes. This is perhaps the most promising theory. The immense pressure building up in rocks before a fracture can ionize the air, releasing positive ions and creating an electrical charge. This phenomenon, known as the positive hole theory or p-hole theory, can disrupt the local magnetic field. Many animals are master navigators of Earth's magnetic field. Birds, sharks, bees, and even cows align themselves with it. A sudden localized distortion of this field could trigger a deep, instinctual panic, a feeling that something is profoundly wrong with their world, causing them to flee. 3. Ground gas release. Under extreme pressure, rocks can release gases like radon. The change in air chemistry might be detectable by sensitive animal olfactory systems. Imagine smelling ozone before a thunderstorm. Animals might be smelling the very breath of the stressed earth. Sensitivity to micro vibrations. Before a major rupture, there are often smaller, pre-seismic tremors, tiny microfractures that are imperceptible to humans and our instruments, but to a creature that feels the world through its paws, whiskers, or the sensitive hairs on its legs. Like a spider, these could be like 1,000 tiny drumbeats heralding the coming avalanche. The skeptics and the challenges. Despite the compelling evidence, the scientific community remains cautiously skeptical, and for a very good reason: the problem of correlation versus causation. For every story of animals predicting a quake, there are countless times animals act strangely, and no earthquake follows. To prove a true predictive link, we need consistent, measurable, and reproducible evidence under controlled conditions, something incredibly difficult to achieve with massive, unpredictable geological events. Skeptics argue that animals are sensitive to many environmental changes: weather, predators, hunger, and that we only remember the times their behavior coincided with an earthquake, forgetting all the times it didn't. This is a classic confirmation bias. The challenge is immense. How do you design an experiment for an event you can't predict? Modern research and the future. The future of this research is moving from anecdote to big data. Scientists aren't just watching pets anymore. They're launching ambitious global projects. The most promising is the Icarus initiative, where scientists fit thousands of animals with tiny GPS and accelerometer tags. By monitoring the movements and behaviors of entire animal populations from space, researchers hope to spot unusual, pre-earthquake patterns on a massive scale, turning the animals of the world into a vast, living sensor network. The goal is not to replace modern seismology, but to complement it. Could a distributed biological early warning system, made up of everything from cattle to pigeons, give us those precious extra seconds or minutes that save lives? The race is on to find out. So can animals really predict earthquakes? The answer is not a simple yes or no. They are almost certainly not psychic oracles, but they are exquisite, finely tuned instruments, honed by millions of years of evolution, to perceive the subtle language of the planet in a way we are only beginning to comprehend. They may not predict in the way we think of prediction. Instead, they witness. They feel the Earth's primal whispers that are silent to us. They are living reminders that our understanding of the world is still incomplete, and that the oldest knowledge often resides not in our computers, but in the instincts of the creatures we share this planet with. The mystery endures, and perhaps by learning to listen to them, we can learn to listen to the Earth itself. What do you think? Have you ever experienced your pet acting strangely before a major event? Share your stories in the comments below. If you were fascinated by the hidden senses of the animal kingdom, you will love our next video on how spiders use the Earth's electric field to fly for miles. A phenomenon known as ballooning.